right, come on up. So, quite a while back ago, I asked others if they'd be interested in doing a program on the history of the Juniper Hill Golf Course, and seemed a little reluctant, but I'm glad he said yes. So, Dudley Darling, he's the Vice President and General Manager of Juniper Hill Golf Course. Dudley's grandfather, Homer C. Darling, he moved from the Darling homestead in Mendon, Massachusetts, to the Brigham Farm in Northborough, and that's where he started to build the Juniper Hill Golf Course back in 1931. But I do want to make another note. For those who don't know, the Juniper Hill Golf Course has been, for over 25 years, they've had a lot to do with supporting the community. For example, they just had their turkey fund, which was done just before Thanksgiving. So their turkey fundraiser, so rather than paying the greens fee, if you bring a frozen turkey, that is the fee for golfing that day. They usually pick up about 300 frozen turkeys on that day, plus about $3,000 in donations. And this goes to the local food pantries. So I really appreciate that. The floor is yours.
Can I put in another plug?
Yes.
Since you have the cemetery here, next Saturday, week from tomorrow, is going to be the wreaths across America. Wreaths are coming down from Maine. They're getting dropped off in different towns and cities, and they're going to end up in Arlington National Cemetery. And then next Saturday, the wreaths are going to be placed on veterans' graves next. And I'm wearing red today because red is remember everyone deployed. So I see some military or former military, Frank, Gene, Alan, a few others. Thank you for your service. Okay. Feel free to ask questions.
Can you get up in front? They're hard to tape in back of the pole.
Okay, let me know if I'm not talking loud enough. And they're recording this, so they told me no swearing. My wife's over there, so she said, don't make an idiot of yourself. She's the one going like this. Let me start by asking how many golfers we have in the room. Okay. How many people watch golf on TV? Okay. Is there anybody that's not that familiar with golf? All right. So anyway, a couple quick terms. The tee is where you tee off. That's where you start each hole. And then you hit into the fairway, and then progress up to the green. The green is the spot that's got closely mowed grass on it, and that's where you putt and get it, hopefully your ball into the cup with the fewest amount of strokes. So, and if there's something I mentioned that you don't understand, just raise your hand or yell at me or something. And I guess we're ready to go. Maybe.
Just trying to get the focus a little better. How's that?
Good.
Hopefully.
Okay.
You want me to?
Sure.
Start her off. Give me a minute, get back in. No. It's worked pretty good the other day.
Can you make it brighter, Paul?
It's brighter.
Richard, Dick Martino here, the
Yeah.
optometrist.
How's that?
Focus.
Is there a presentation mode?
Yeah.
If you go to the bottom and you put it in presentation mode, I think that'll help. There's a little.
Can that be adjusted? No.
Somewhere in between. Can you go back one slide?
Ooh.
Okay, go ahead. Or I guess,
Ahead?
go ahead. Okay, so this is Juniper Hill. If you kind of squint at it, this is what it looks like from about 3,000 feet in the air, 4,000 feet. Next slide. Back up one. Okay, so basically, we've got 36 holes. The Riverside course is this area here. The Lakeside course is this area here. So we're going to start off with the Riverside course. The front nine was the first nine that was developed. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is a map from, I guess, 17-something of Artemis Brigham, and he had about 330 acres that he acquired in Northborough. Is that any of the Brighams here? Okay. There is a John Brigham living, I think, in Northborough that is related to that. Okay, next slide. All right, this is the Brigham farm that my grandfather bought back in 1928. The difference between this picture and the last one is this is about 150 acres, and then it's kind of hard to see, but right through here is the Colonial Railroad. There's the slide before that showed Artemis Brigham's farm did not show the railroad. They came through, I think, in what, 1850 something. And I think they cut through his land, and I think when they did that, he ended up selling off pieces of property, and then, so then, you know, it was a lot smaller by the time that Walter O. Brigham sold it to my grandfather. Okay, go ahead. Okay, boy, I hope it would be a little clearer. These two pictures are the Brigham farm in 1905. These two were sent, I was hoping one of the, John Brigham was here. These were sent by another Brigham that's living down in Connecticut. Sent them to my father a few years ago. We did have two pictures before that, but I thought it was interesting, and there was still a Brigham around that would send us a couple of pictures. Really kind of hard to tell. This is the Brigham farmhouses here, and it's over here in this picture. And this is the Assabet River, and this is what's now Brigham Street going. Let's see, I guess it's going this way through this picture. Okay, Paul. All right, this is really hard to see. This is a map of the area. Connecticut is down here, Rhode Island is down here. Let's see, Northborough is here somewhere, and then Mendon is a little further down. It was easier to read where it was clearer and wasn't moving around a lot. Okay, so this is the old Benjamin Davenport home on 730 North Avenue in Mendon. It was purchased by the Darling family, Homer Darling. Now, throughout the history of the Darlings, there's a lot of Homers. This Homer was Homer Wing Darling. He was the father of George Homer Darling, who was the father of my grandfather, Homer C. Darling. So, this was a working farm. There's a barn back here. And what they did was, one of his brothers had a watch case company in New York. And they, because of the area around Mendon, it had very clean air. There was a lake there. And people would come out from New York City, from Boston, just to get the good clean air. So what they did was they kind of turned this into like a bed and breakfast, so to speak, back then. And you know, they had people coming from all over. Next one. This is a couple more pictures. It's kind of hard to see. My grandfather's there, and he's a little kid. He's got a wheelbarrow, so even at a young age, he was a worker bee. And then it's hard to see, but there's a couple horses there. Their name is Jerry and John. So, okay, next one. Okay, so my grandfather went to Mass Agricultural College, which is now UMass. He was in the class of 1915. He said this first year he majored in sports, so he ended up in the class of 1960. I think he's right about there in this picture, but I can't tell you. And then, where is he? I forgot what, he's here somewhere. I forgot what his position he was playing. Go ahead, next one. Okay, so this is his yearbook. That's him right there. He was also in the QTV fraternity there. I went to UMass Amherst, and when I was going out there, he took me out there, and he went to QTV, and this was years and years and years later, and he was surprised that they didn't know who he was. You know, things move on. So anyway, he graduated from his class, and next one. This is the drill building there, and I couldn't find whether he was an ROTC, but he did go in the Army, and he became a second lieutenant. So I'm not sure, you know, how he did it that quickly. But go ahead to the next one. These are cadets drilling. So that's him when he joined the Army. And this is a Distinguished Service Cross citation. It's signed by Blackjack Pershing. So, you know, what happened was he had a platoon, I guess, and they were under heavy machine gun fire. He had his platoon move up towards the machine gun nest, and he turned around and there was one guy behind him. So between him and my grandfather, they took out 3 machine gun nests. And he also, I guess he really wasn't that proud of it, but he killed, I think, 5 or 6 other Germans during his tour of duty in Germany. he was in France for a while too. And I've got a little section on jokers. He was kind of a joker. He picked up this thing in college. He'd go down a set of stairs and he'd fall and he'd tumble and he'd, end up at the bottom and, crush himself off and then walk off. He was in some hotel in France, did the same thing. He says it was pretty easy there because it was all carpeted. He said we didn't have any, there wasn't any wooden stairs that he going down. So he told little sons. Go ahead. Okay, so he, let's see, in between the war and purchasing Juniper Hill, he worked for a couple different companies that were selling chemicals, farm chemicals, and I guess he was down in New Jersey for a company down there, and while he was working for them, he ended up going to Chicago, and he picked up golf in Chicago. He was playing in a private course, and he decided, I don't like this private course thing. If I open a golf course, it's going to be public. It's open to everybody. And then I think he also played at a course that Joe Jemsick owned in Chicago's Cog Hill, which was a fairly prestigious public course. Anyway, he would go, let's see what happened. My father was born, and that was in 26, and father was Homer D, grandfather Homer C. Homer C's father died the same time, same day that my father was born. So he went back to Mendon, and he was still tending the farm in Mendon and also still selling chemicals in the winter. And he started looking for a piece of property. So he came to the Northborough area and discovered, I guess he talked to the Brighams and talked to Walter O. Brigham and his son who had the Brigham farm. So this is the piece of property that he bought from them. Now this road here is Brigham Street. This is the railroad here. So you can see the difference between this map and the other one is all this area here that was once Artemis Ward's farm. He sold off, and that's here. This set of clubs belonged to Florence Ward. So this wasn't the clubs she was using there. But I talked to Carrie today, and she brought this other bag that she thought might have been that bag. So we looked, and it looked like a smaller bag that was inside of a bigger bag. And then when I tried to pull it out, the top of it came off. So, and the clubs fell out of the bottom. So. I left that one at the course. Radicals? Yeah, Radicals, there you go. And these were her great-grandmother's shoes. So, oh, I forgot to mention, 1931, when we opened, also Chet's Diner opened, 31. Also, McNeil Engineering in Marlboro, who makes Champ Spikes, was formed. So Champ Spikes, they were bought by Pride Golf and absorbed into their company. They still make some metal spikes, but the only ones that use them are some of the pros. Back in the 80s, we had a transition over to plastic spikes, and they were much better to the grass, and they were much better to the grounds, the buildings. If you didn't have rubber mats down, the spikes would chew up the floor in like 1 year or so, 2 years. So this other lady is Ella Proctor. She had a medical issue, and she was wheelchair bound. The doctor said she'd never walk again, and she was determined that she was going to walk. So she got to walking, and then she got to playing golf. And she went out and she played 1 hole. She played 2 holes. She'd come back and play 3 holes. She was in a club championship with Mrs. Ward multiple times. Go ahead, next one. Okay, so Florence Ward, Florence Ward, Elmer Proctor, Elmer Proctor. This is the lady they said would never walk again. So it's never amazes me, it always amazes me what your mind can do for you. If you think you can do something, you can. If you don't think you can do something, well, you're probably right. So, mindset. Okay.
Is Kathy's story on that?
She's on the later one. Okay, so this is some of the golfers. First tee, that's the clubhouse here. The barn was over here. Okay. All right, so it's hard to say, but these guys are in uniform. This is my father, Homer D. Homer W. Garner. Next one. Okay. Guess what this building is? Or what this building is? For those of you who've been in town a long time, you remember Shattuck's Pharmacy? Okay, boys hanging around outside. There's my father. They were the boys before they were shipped overseas. Okay, go ahead. All righty, so my father was an MP during the Second World War. At the end of the war, he went to Germany, met this cute-looking German girl, and the romance developed, and she was one of the first ladies from Germany to come to the United States after the war. So they were married on her birthday, which was December 30th. Oh, it was 47. Yeah, because I was born in 48. Yeah, so there you go. You get married, and what happens, you have kids. Next one. It's too bad this is a really cute kid. Martin came over. I don't know why I got a Navy cap on it. You know, our family were Army guys. Okay. All right, so then the quest to build a second nine. You know, this was the front nine, and then they acquired some land and then worked hard and developed the back nine of Riverside. Go ahead. You'll see this a couple more times. All right, this is just slides of work there. All right, so Brigham Street is here, School Street is here, the clubhouse is over this way. It's hard to tell in this slide, but this land was pretty level there. There was a kind of a hill. This is the Assabet River here. So my grandfather had the superintendent, Al Sanders III, Sandy, dig some test holes, and he found that there was good soil here. So they started mining that out of there and starting to fill in around the river and also over here. Go ahead. Yeah, unfortunately, there was a couple pieces of equipment I wanted to show. Go ahead. So this was more area that they were digging out. Go ahead. And this is one of the tractors. This is the thing that's in front here is that forks. It's an old manure fork. Yeah. Okay. This is an old farm haul tractor. I took this picture to WCD, showed it to Bob Munter. He says, Okay, so that's about a 1930-something farm all model V, you know, he tell me, he couldn't tell me how many hours was on it, but it was pretty good. And then he identified this car, which I thought that was my grandfather's car, but I think my grandfather was an Oldsmobile guy, so maybe that was Sandy's car. Go ahead. Okay, so this is more mining and stuff. Now it's kind of hard to tell if that's me there. Go ahead. All right, this is School Street here. Brigham Street is over this way. So they were digging this out also. This is my grandfather, Homer C., and this is Sandy, Al Sanders. His family's still around the area too. Go ahead. That was the same car. This is, they used to call them steam shovels, and they ran on gas and diesel, so they call them a gas shovel. This thing is a bucket that it pulls by cable. This is what they call a drag line, because it drags it and then picks it up and then dumps it, okay? And it, you know, it's a tracked thing. This is another one. Another one over here. They're filling in, go ahead. And more filling. There's a bulldozer over here, go ahead. And this is that same area we're working on. I think there was a bulldozer over there you couldn't see. Next. And this is the progression of that. This is School Street here. So this hole is the 11th hole of Riverside. 10 is over this way, and 12 runs over here. Go ahead. And this is more shots. This is Brigham Street. It's too bad you can't see the bridge there. And the clubhouse is over that way. And School Street is back behind us here. Go ahead. All right, so the work didn't end in the winter, you kept working. So this is I think the 16th hole. The railroad tracks is over here.
What years was this started, when we developed in the back nine?
It started in 51, and then they opened it, soft opening in 53, and then they opened it fully in 54. Okay, like I said before, for the hurricane, they didn't have chainsaws here. Well, I guess they did in the 50s, they're kind of crude. It's hard to see, but that's an axe. So a lot of this stuff was axes and cross-cut saws. Go ahead. And hand labor. This is my grandfather here. And that other card there. Go ahead. Okay, Al Sanders III, Sandy, and this is a cultivator, my grandfather, Homer C. A lot of hard labor, hand labor. You do big prep with the construction equipment, and it all goes down to hand labor for the other stuff. When he got ready to plant the greens, the Greenskeepers Club that I mentioned, they had volunteers from other golf courses come in and help them seed the greens, smooth them out and seed them. So even though they were competitors, they helped each other. And it kind of, as things progressed, they became more competitive amongst each other. But I think at this point now, presently, owners and superintendents all work together because they all have the same problems. It doesn't matter if you're a public course or private course, you're a little 9-hole course, 18-hole course, 36. You all have the same type of problems. They're a little bit different in each area, but they're all basically the same. So, if you can help each other, you can find out a problem. If you have a problem, you put it out to the group, and they might have had the same problem, and they'll give you suggestions, and it'll, just help everybody out. Okay. All right. This is a thing that kind of like mulches the stuff and throws it in the dump truck. And I think this is the same 1948 Dodge that we had until into the 60s. They have a little straight six engine in there that they've been using for years and years. Okay?
Hey, Dudley,
Yeah.
can we take a break so I can change the battery?
Okay. It's bittersweet on this table, and the town's cutting this stuff out. But if you cut some of those in the wetland, you can get in trouble for that.
You're live now, Dudley.
We're live? All right. Here, New York City. Okay, so this is Sandy. I'm not sure what he was doing. That's my father, Homer D, with a shovel there. That is me, and that's my brother. So we're keeping an eye on them, make sure they're doing their work properly. Okay. Go ahead. All right. This is the 16th and 18th holes here. This is Brigham Street. Let's see. This is the railroad tracks here, and then Brigham Street's up here. So you know you can see right through there. Now you can't. We planted a lot of trees, and so you know this was a pretty clear area. And there was a little brook here. They kind of managed the brook. Don't tell the conservation commission. Okay. All right. So this is an aerial view. It's easy to see when. Okay. So this is that railroad, the railroad tracks, and this is Brigham Street here. And this is Collins Road going off this way. So the clubhouse is over here. So you can see these were all planted trees there. So not only did they plant grass, and they planted trees, and all along here there's trees too. So now, you cannot see from here through there at this point in time. Go ahead. I mean, today, then you could. All right, this is an aerial. Okay, so I talked about the flooding in the bridges. Brigham Street came down this way, and then the bridge was here. And then there's a sharp corner. So this is still the old Brigham Street here, and this is the present Brigham Street. And they put these tubes in back in 50-something, and my grandfather in the 40s tried to get the town to deepen the Assabet River, which ran through here, and I guess they wouldn't do it. And then he had put fill in here from the 9th tee was up here, and he took a lot of the material there and the material from around here, and filled the 9th fairway. When they put these two bridges, there were two big tubes that are they're going to be about 15 feet in diameter. When they dropped them into the river, they hit bedrock underneath. So they raised the level of the river 18 inches. So the 18 inches that he filled in here was net zero gain. You have to live with it. Okay. All right. Another overhead. This is the clubhouse here, Brigham Street, the bridge is right there. Collins Brook was off that way, Brigham Street off this way, where the railroad tracks is there. Go ahead. Another overhead. This is the clubhouse, Brigham Street. Brigham goes off that way, railroad tracks are over there. School Street's right there. Oh, my father built a house, let's see, right over about here, back in the early 50s. All right, so all well and good while the sun's shining. During the winter, you got no money coming in because the golfers don't want to play in the snow, especially if it's deep. So they did things like snow plowing with an old World War II Jeep. I think Paul said he remembered that Jeep. Also, my father worked at the A&P in Westboro. He was helping out there doing baggings, what bagging stuff, whatever he could do to bring money into the winter. I think with the story of the A&P, I think somebody got a lobster, he put the lobster in the bag and rubber ended up getting bit by the lobster. Go ahead, next one. All right, so this is an article my grandfather wrote for Golfdom, which was a publication for golf, and it's talking about hurricanes taking a toll on golf courses. What he was talking about was in 1954, it was the twins, Carol and Edna, August of '54 and September of '54 caused significant flooding. So go ahead. It was flooding so bad that somebody had a boat with a motor on it, and they were driving around with a flagpole in one of the greens. Either went down on School Street or the 8th green. So, yeah, this is the bridge with the tubes on it. Also during those twin hurricanes, the water level was so high it was over the bridge. My father's house was up here, the clubhouse is over here, so he rowed us across the flooded Assabet River to get over towards the clubhouse. You couldn't get down School Street either, that was all underwater. Okay. All right, so then more progress. This is where the maintenance was done. Originally they called it the glass house because where this garage door was, there was just panels of glass and a door there. In '65, they built another maintenance building here. Okay. And in '70, this is the original maintenance building here. And in '70, they expanded it. This is a whole shed they used for storage. And if Tom Ackley was here, he would say, "Hey, that's my car."
Where was that building, Dudley, by the car barn?
Yes, it was in front of the car barn. You'll see that shortly too. Okay, go ahead. All right, so this is Brigham Street here, the Assabet River. It's receded now. Clubhouse is over here. Okay. More shots. Brigham Street and School Street is over here. Let's see. This area would become Lakeside later on. Okay, go ahead. Another shot. You can see how small the trees are. All these were planted. Again, you can see right straight across through there. You can't see through there now. And it was pretty barren through here. These trees here, this is the 6th green up here. This is the 7th hole up here, and then 8 coming down. These trees are all planted, but you can see they're quite a bit higher in this picture than what they were. Okay. And this is the 2nd hole here, Riverside, 3rd hole, 4th hole. This area here is what will become the Lakeside course. And this is School Street Extension, and this is what was her name?
Christian Anderson?
No, Anderson was over here.
Farmer Brown.
Brett Kimball. This was the Kimball property.
Dudley, I have a question.
Yeah.
All these aerial photos, it's before you had your pilot license, right?
Yes.
So imagine the money you would have made if they taken these photos of you.
There you go. Good idea. I was much too young to be flying that. And some of those aerial photos were taken by, what's his name, he had a photography business in Worcester. He was also a golfer. Name escapes me right now. Okay, go ahead. All right, some more small trees. This is, yeah, that's the railroad, Brigham Street here, Collins Road. Okay. You sure you want that? Yeah. This is my father's house. This was, early 70s, Brigham Street here. Go ahead. All right. 1966, that was our bicentennial of Northborough. So, this is my grandfather, my father, my brother Thorne. This is Paul Kane, who was working for us, came back to work. He was one of the longest employed guys. This is Bruce Wade, and this guy here is a relative of Dana Dragon. Okay, well, here's some more Mark Foster, but, and there's me. In this picture, I was the only one with a real mustache. He said, okay, next one. And this was the card they gave out to the ball-faced friends and visitors, you know, and to explain why we had the beards, and it was called Brothers in the Brush. It was compliments of Red Barrel rubbish removal, satisfaction guaranteed, or double your trash bag. Great idea. Okay. All right, so then we started working on the third hole here. Okay. Next. The equipment's a little bit different. The dump trucks are bigger. This is a bulldozer with a bucket instead of just a plow in front, so that not only could he plow, but he could dig up the stuff, whatever he was working on, dump in the dump truck. Dump trucks would move it, okay? And more dump trucks. All right, then in 71 and 72, my father started working on the 17th hole. I left them kind of together because I thought we could see the picture better, but 17, he put in a pond there, moved the tee back, moved the green, and then moved forward on that. Go ahead. All right, so that's what it ended up looking like. This is the green here, the tee is over there, 16 was over here, clubhouse is way over here. All right. Okay, this is a postcard that we put out in the 70s. It's really kind of hard to see what's going on with this. Let's see, railroad tracks are here, Brigham Street is here, School Street is there. All right. And this was, over there was Kimball's land. All right, so this is, the dates don't quite figure, but see, they say the clubhouse circa 1930, it was actually later than that, but it's the 44th anniversary, and I think it was dated for 72, so the numbers didn't match, but what was important, I would hope would show up. It says, it's talking about the wildlife here, and it says it's something to the effect that we're working in harmony with the animals and recreation to work in harmony and just make a better earth. Go ahead. Then we joined the Audubon Sanctuary, Sanctuary Program, and now we're working at getting certified for the Sanctuary Program. So we're still continuing to do that. Okay. And this is the Golf Teaching Center, which is on School Street, where they're doing the teaching for the golf course. That was opened in about 1989. Okay. All right. So that's the Riverside course. And then my father's bought more land. You had mentioned Kristen Anderson. He owned a piece of property over here. This is Dick's. He had a house here with his brother and sister. He had some kind of a factory, a business in Marlboro. The other brother and sister, they never married. They just worked the farm. So after they died, we bought the farm from Anderson. And he sold some other lands to another company, and we bought it from them. And then the house that he had there, he moved out of there before he died, but he had life tenancy until he died. He moved out, and we donated the house to the fire department. So This guy owned a company, a factory, but he was a hoarder. The fire department had to go take all his trash and stuff, and dump it down the cellar steps. You know, it filled up the basement, just so when they set fires to the house and then put it out, set fires to the house and put it out. And they did that so they wouldn't fall through into the basement, which is kind of a mess. So anyway, it helped them with their training, it helped us with getting rid of the house. And I guess they stopped doing that. When did they stop doing that, you think, Paul?
I'm not sure.
Okay. They no longer accept buildings that burn down. One of the things is that the house had lead paint on it, so they would worry about that too. Okay. So this is working on the lakeside course. Go ahead. More construction. Go ahead. Oh, meanwhile, my mother had died and my father had remarried to Margaret Dawson from Framingham. She had a farm background also. Her family ran a turkey farm in Framingham. Okay, go ahead. More work, more moving. They did more moving of land on the lakeside course than they did Riverside. And there was some interesting geological formations there from the glaciers that came through thousands of years ago. Eskers and moraines and things like that. Okay. Yeah, it's hard to say, but there's grass here. This is the second green, and there's hay on top of the grass here to protect it while it was growing until it got high enough so that it could fend for itself. Okay, and more area working on it, grass cutting in, and then irrigation to keep it watered. All right, this is our, this was an opening day, but it was commencement exercises for the new force. My brother, myself, my two sons, my sister Monique, and Margaret. Okay. The ribbon cutting. After the ceremony, some of the people did go out and play the course, but a PGA pro showed up late for it, so I got the chance of driving him around, and I showed him one of the holes. He looked at it, par 3, said, "This is going to be the hardest par 3 in the way." I'm kind of lucky myself. I happen to luck into spots like that. Different timing is everything. Just being in the right place at the right time. Okay. And then that's playing. All right. Go ahead. All righty. So that's the lakeside course. This is Little Chauncey here, and these are water holes along Little Chauncey. Clubhouse is over here. All right. And this is the Riverside course. So the lakeside is here, the Riverside is here. Okay. All right. In 1998, thank you for mentioning about the Turkey Day events. That's when they started, 1998, and this was a little bit after that. But the turkeys collected would go to the Worcester County Food Bank, and then as we got more turkeys, they supported the Veterans Inc. that gives turkey dinners to veterans the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. I happened to be there this year. I was invited there, and it was very heartwarming. They used to feed like 800. They were happy to see me there because this year we set a record. It was 339 turkeys, and it was over $4,000 in gift cards and cash for supermarket gift cards. So it was, people call us about 2 months ahead of time. They enjoy doing it, and the donation makes such a difference for these people in need. Okay, go ahead. This is Keith Ackley. Tom Ackley was our superintendent. You'll see his name on the timeline. And the friends that he plays with. This is Fred the turkey. He started coming to our events probably about 5 years after we started. And Fred was replaced by Fred T. Turkey. Fred T. Turkey. Okay. All right, you won't believe this. See this guy here?
Here's the guy without the hair.
Alan, take your hat. Take your hat. Take your hat. So that's Alan way back when. This is when he was working and he was clean shaven and he didn't look like a bum. Okay. We call him our old card. Okay, go ahead. All right, so this is the turkey day we had a couple weeks ago. These are folks from the Veterans Inc. and she's from Veterans Inc. and they're from the food bank. This is the truck that they fill up with the turkeys. Okay, go ahead. All right, this lady here, she just retired last month. She was the CEO of the Worcester County Food Bank. She's been there for over 20 years. She didn't start off as a CEO, but she said, I started working there in November and I'm retiring in November. So, Juniper, great gal. She said, I'm gonna come back in the, next year and the years after. We didn't lose her. All right. Okay, so, this is a piece of wallpaper. Probably Paul could tell you stories and they could tell you stories about old houses. What you did was you took newspaper and you glued it onto the wall, okay, to make a smooth section, and then you wallpapered over it. Go ahead and flip it. So it's kind of hard to read, but this is April 4th, 1845. So, I had another piece of paper and it talked about the different people coming in from different countries, refugees, and how many thousands of refugees came from each country at that time. Alrighty, next one. Alrighty, so the next expansion was the clubhouse, and you'd asked about the cart barn. We'll get into that. It's kind of hard to see, but these are golf carts, so we kind of got rid of caddies and got into golf carts. This is the old clubhouse here. Alrighty, so they're digging for this is our maintenance building here, and they're digging down for a place to put the cart garage. Okay. Alright, so this is the clubhouse. And the golf cart's right beside it. Alright. So we gotta crack some eggs to make an omelet. So this is demolition of the clubhouse here. Alright. And then this is the cart garage that was put in. So we can't get to it very easily, so the next step is demolish that. Okay, this is the original part of the clubhouse here. And we tore off the living room, the original house, the kitchen, the back kitchen, and the garage. And on the other side, we tore off the
Green porch.
porch, yeah. All right.
Dudley,
Yes.
you grew up in that house, right?
Part of my life. My father built the other house, his house in '54, so we moved out of, I think it was '54, '55. So we moved out of there and into this house up on School Street, up Brigham Street. And this is expansion. Right now, this is where the grill room is. And then we have the snack bar down here. And then we have another floor up here. Okay. All right. Putting up that stuff. This was the section we were just looking at. All right. And then this is almost completed. They're just working on the deck there. They've got some of the siding up there. All right.
What year?
That was 99, 2000. garage. Next one. All right, while they were doing that, they're putting in a pavilion here. The clubhouse is over here. This is where the old Brigham Farm, Brigham barn was, the one that blew down. So there's a pavilion there now. Go ahead. So it's pretty open. It's a three-season type thing, and we have drop sides to cut the wind and rain. All right. So that's the pavilion there, and this is the expanded clubhouse. All right. And then while we were doing that, this is the maintenance building. They tore down the other maintenance building over here. Well, they built this before they built the other maintenance building. So go ahead. That was a steel structure there. Okay. And then this was some aerials. This one I took. So Lakeside's over here, and then the Riverside's over here. And this is Little Chauncey, that's Bartlett Pond. And the railroad runs through there. That will come into play in a couple more slides. Okay, ACEs. An ACE is what we call a hole-in-one. Okay, so ACEs, Bob Kuski made a hole-in-one at Juniper with a beat-a-hole golf ball. And when you make a hole-in-one, you try to save that golf ball. And back then, they would mount it on something and send it to you. It looked like a little trophy. Must have been a heck of a nice trophy for a whole beat-a-hole ball. Ralph Ward Hill, he got a hole-in-one. Ike Catherwalla, who married the former Penny Rayo from Northborough, she's away now. He made 4 hole-in-ones, all at Juniper. So, Telegram and Gazette photographer came out because we had some baby foxes that were out playing around, and he wanted a picture of those baby foxes. So we're waiting for the baby foxes, and I hear, "Wow, hey Dudley, look at this, I got a hole-in-one." I tried to get the photographer to take a picture. I said, "You're not going to see a guy get a hole-in-one and take a picture of it." No, wouldn't take the picture. We never did see the foxes. And the last hole-in-one was a couple weeks ago. Garland Busby during that Turkey Day event we got. All right.
We're told.
Okay, next one. Jokers. All right. So you could see the Homer C. Darling, my grandfather, he was a joker. He was a joker, you know, other times too. Homer D., my father, was a bit of a joker too. People think he was kind of a curmudgeon because he was a little stricter than my grandfather. But one evening he found a dead woodchuck. So he set it up on the first fairway across the clubhouse. So next morning my grandfather wakes up and looks and there's the woodchuck. So my grandfather gets his trusty .32 caliber rifle. Crack! Woodchuck's still there. He reloads, gets a little closer. Crack! Woodchuck is still standing there. He reloads, gets a little closer. It doesn't move. So he walks up and he sees this woodchuck with a stick. My father, he was a joker too. Okay. Donald Maycumber, that I pointed out quite a ways ago. He was a ventriloquist. So he was playing with this kind of a curmudgeon doctor. We get up to the first green, the doctor walks back to the clubhouse. What's going on? Well, I thought somebody was paging me for a phone call. No, we didn't page him. It was Don doing his control room. You remember the picture I showed with the tall guy? Okay, so the ceilings in the clubhouse are pretty low, and Arnold Jones was pretty tall. So he was telling people that he was doing exercises. He could do breathing exercises, and he could gain weight. We have this penny weight machine there. So he'd go, put a penny in, I'll show you how it works. So there's Arnold, there's the ceiling. Keep watching the scale. And he's pushing up against the ceiling, his finger on the penny scale. So the guy's like, wow, it works, look at gaining weight. We had some other jokers too. Walter Hardy, he used to run the mobile station downtown. He was part of a Civil War reenactment group, and he lived on he lived on Church Street. Pleasant Street, just off of Church. And he had a barn, and he had the company's cannon in his garage. One New Year's Eve, we don't know about him, what he was doing, but he decided he'd go out and let it ding the cannon. So he was replacing the glass windows in his neighbor's house. Days later. He was another one of our jokers. I think I had a couple more. Oh, I know what I was going to show. I told you my grandfather was a joker. This is an ad, I'm not sure when it was. Juniper Hill Golf Club, Buffalo, Mass. The rest of it's in German. This was in an ad in a paper in Germany. Crazy thing. Okay. So, there you go. Golf with your friends. All right. Builds lasting friendships. All right. I think that's it. Oh, staff and celebrities. I gave you an abridged list of the different celebrities that were that played at the golf course. Okay, this is some of our staff. This is Tom Ackley. His brother was in the one of those Turkey Day events. The other guy with him was Stan at Elby's Orchards up on Wall Hill. Okay, this guy, Bob Foster, he was the one that was in the 1966 picture with me with the only guy with a mustache. This guy was our star, Bob Foster. This was in '79, I think. So his son worked for us also. His son, go ahead, next one. His son was Gene Dragon, that's Gene. He worked for Brady Corporation. And after he retired from them, he came to work from us when we were doing the build out on the clubhouse and the other stuff. He was like our go-between. He was between us and the general contractor. So he was the second generation. This is Margaret Pell. Go ahead. This is Dick Sargent from Northborough. Passed away a few years ago. Fire department, really great guy. Worked for Raytheon for 35 years, I think. His wife also worked in town in the treasurer's office. Okay, George Arks was, he worked for Jefferson College in the bookstore. He was also the Celtics timekeeper. And his wife worked for the Celtics also. She did the stats. So when during the intermissions there, she would bring the stats down and give them to the TV and radio people. And that's Debbie Perini from one of the 6 Perini sisters that worked for free. The father worked for Perini Construction. Go ahead. Okay, European car. That was started by Peter Carroll. Yes, so that's Peter. Funny story about him too. My son was playing with him. They were on, of course, he hit a goose. Goose, it's a goner, but it was flapping around. Poor Pete, he felt sorry for it, so he took his club and closed his eyes, and he missed it. Closed his eyes and he missed it. No, he did hit it. And the poor thing, I had to go out and dispatch it. I mean, it was, he beat the hell out of it and tried to put it out of its misery. Okay, all right, so that's Dick Sargent. That's Jim Ravelli, who was called the mayor of Juniper Hill by the staff. This guy here is kind of hard to recognize. Jack Sullivan, who used to be a football coach in town. Okay, that's our one right there. And John Viola, he's still working for us. Yeah, John. Dick Sarasulo, television presenter. Okay. And this is John Cayley, race car driver. He was also, he managed Gus Nundry in Brookline. He was a great guy. And there's our golf course in the fall. All right. Oh, flooding. Did I mention flooding before? Okay, so this was the Assabet River till it flooded. Let's see, when was that? I think that was 2010. Yeah, 2010. Okay. Go ahead. More flooding. This is let's see. Here. More flooding going towards the center of town. Go ahead. Okay, so this is the center of town. Town Hall's here, Route 20's here. Dunkin' Donuts is right here. This was right on their back doorstep. And then over here is where the new fire department's going in. So, he mentioned, Alan mentioned that I was a pilot. So I got my camera and I've got a little two-seater plane and he was taking pictures out along the Assabet. And I got out to about Maynard and ran out of room on my memory cards. So I heard I need to get back to Mulver Airport. So I stopped at the stove and talked to Don McPherson there, and he said, you may want to head back to the airport. I said, yeah, I know, there was something going on, the presidential TFR. He said, yeah, you probably should get back right away. Pull into the airport, pull up to the gas pumps, put your plane away right now. Okay, you know, this is somebody else telling me that. Tied it down, there's this guy with a dog, and he says, what's in the box there? I said, just different stuff. You take it out with you? And no. Open the box up and put it down and I look, and then there's a state police guy there. And so I said, you know, I thought it was just a staging area. And they said, you can leave now, I'll wait in the porch of the house over at the airport. And I talked to the airport manager and said, yeah, a bomber's coming to town. So one of these is Marine One, 3 helicopters. We don't know which is Marine One till they land, because that's the one the President Obama was in. So these 3 helicopters come in, and they do the same thing with Air Force One. There's an Air Force One and Air Force Two, but they travel in tandem like this. But one of these, you know, go ahead and go to the next slide. So this was Marine One. He was coming in. Go ahead. State Police. There's a fire truck here on top of the building over here. There's a sniper. There was another sniper someplace else. I haven't seen that much heavy artillery since I was in the Army. Go ahead. Okay, so that was the helicopter. I think that's him there. And I think that was him there. And one more. And then that's him. He's heading towards the car. They landed there. That was the big hurricane in, the big flooding in 2010, and he was going to the MEMA in Framingham. They landed here and drove him there, and I forgot, I think after he went there, they drove him up to Pease, and they took off from Pease. Okay. Now, more flooding. Okay, in your, on the timeline, there was something about the Great Beaver Flood. Okay, remember the railroad tracks? Okay. This is the railroad tracks here. Brigham Street's over here. There's a culvert underneath here, and the beavers blocked it off. Okay, so it started a flood. Trying to get CSX to clean it out. Oh, we'll send a truck down that bad truck. Meanwhile, they're backed up. This is Newport here. They take cardboard, they take paper and turn it into corrugated cardboard. They have it, they have a big propane tank that they use for their equipment. The water level was getting up to the pump in the propane tank, so they had to raise that up. And they raised it as high as they could. The water level kept coming up. So they said, if we have to discontinue that pump, we have to shut it down. And they weren't happy about it. So between them and us, we pressured CSX, and they finally got a team down there. They broke it through there, go to the next one. So this flooding was so bad, we had 6 holes that we could not, if we were open. This was during the pandemic, so we were shut down. All the golf courses were shut down. We had 6 holes that we couldn't play. This is Little Chauncey here. Go ahead to the next one. This is Little Chauncey. Big Chauncey's down here. There's a little stream that feeds from Big Chauncey into Little Chauncey. You can see that's no longer a big stream. So this is almost like a big figure 8, just water. And they were going to send a vac truck down to suck the water out. You know, I said, "You're crazy. There's millions of gallons of water. You're not going to do it with that." So anyway, we finally got that cleared out, and the water subsided. And after 6 weeks of being shut down, we were able to get it back open. So I think that was the end of the. Is that it?
End of slideshow.